All right, everybody. It is getting there to be time. It's time for the BFTAA and More show. This is your host, Louis George Walker, coming to you live from KUAW studios. And let's see if I can bring my picture into your view. I may be able to do that in just a second. Let's see. Give me a minute as we bring this show to life here. All right. Good afternoon and welcome. This is Louis George Walker, and you are now joining the Black Family Technology Awareness Association's broadcast, BFTAA and More. Yes, we bring you news from the Black Family Technology Awareness Association about what's going on with technology, what's happening in the community, and much more. We broadcast to you live from the KUAW radio studios in the W.E.B. Du Bois Learning Center building at 4510 East Linwood, Kansas City, Missouri. And this is the flagship of the Black Family Technology Awareness Association, KUAW, Knowledge, Understanding, and Wisdom. Yeah, there's a lot going on today, a lot of things that are happening that we want to bring to your attention. Good things are going on, and want to let everybody know that the W.E.B. Du Bois Learning Center is now back open to the public. Yes, we've been down for more than 2 years, 2.5 years since the pandemic, and now we are taking students back into the building. There's been a virtual tutoring that's been going on, but actually right now, Good afternoon. We're glad that you're watching. But right now, they are accepting students into the W.E.B. Du Bois Learning Center in reading, math, science, and providing the technology component of the W.E.B. Du Bois Learning Center is the Black Family Technology Awareness Association. So we bring robotics, VEX and Lego robotics to the program. So that's what we have going on here at the W.E.B. Du Bois Learning Center. If you want to get your child involved, please contact the W.E.B. Du Bois Learning Center. I'll get the phone number for you in just a minute, maybe while we're watching the NASA thing, see if I can find that. But call or contact the W.E.B. Du Bois Learning Center. You can also go to their website, the webduboislearningcenter.org, and contact them to get your child enrolled in any of the programs that are going on, math, reading, science, and technology. Those are all happening right here, 4510 East Linwood Boulevard. We're at the between the Elmwood and, what's the other street? I forget the other street, but 31st and Elmwood is the parking spot. You can come into the parking lot in the rear of the building and then contact us. But call, make arrangements. I know we'll be here Saturday from 10:30 till 12, and then the science and robotics programs will start at 12:30 and go until 2:30. So we've got things that are going on. We're taking young people back in. So if you've been involved with the W.E.B. Du Bois Learning Center before, now's the time to get back involved with the W.E.B. Du Bois Learning Center. Also, if you want to get your child involved in robotics program, we do competitive robotics in Lego and VEX. Lego is for our elementary school students, and the VEX robotics is for our middle and high school students. So we've got something for every age. We start with third graders, 9 years old. I don't know if that's third grade or fourth graders, all the way up till graduation from high school. So we'd love to have you get your child involved with our robotics program. You can go to our website, www.bftaa.org, and find out how to enroll in the robotics program, or you can do the enrollment from the W.E.B. Du Bois Learning Center website. So just get in touch with us. You can also call us here at the radio station, 816-599-6893. Oh, the other street is Cypress. Okay. Yeah, I couldn't get that in my mind right now. So between Elmwood and Cypress on 31st Street is not KUAW, is the W.E.B. Du Bois Learning Center, and we're inside of there. So come down 31st Street or Linwood, and you'll be right there in the building. So, yeah, we're Okay, wait a minute. Somebody says they're not getting any sound from me. How you getting no sound, but you can tell me what the streets were? I am up. Okay, testing 1, 2, 3. I hope you can hear me now. I can hear me. Let's see. Yep. So I hope you're hearing me. Somebody was saying they were getting information and they knew the street unless they were reading it off of something else. But I think I'm putting out. I'll go on to my phone, my trusty phone, and bring it up and see what I get there. Just a second. We'll make sure that we're putting something out. It shows that I'm talking and that you are hearing me. So let's see what I get. All right. Oh, yeah, I hear me. Okay. So we've got sound. I hear it on my phone as I go to this. So if you're not getting sound, check your volume. Yeah, I hear it on my telephone. So if you're not getting sound, I don't think it's our fault this time. There's a lot of times when it is our fault. We've had technical difficulties, but right now it shows that I'm putting out sound just fine. So let me know if you continue to get no sound, and we'll check that out. But right now it looks like I am putting out voice. Okay, so this radio station and what we do is to bring you a lot of things going on in technology, a lot of things that are happening with the world of technology, with robotics and with other developments that are coming on, and also some of the things that are going on in the community. So we like to kind of give you a refresh or an update on the things that are happening. If you want to put something in the chat, all you have to do is, if you're listening on Facebook, all you have to do is put it in, and I will see it. It comes up on my screen. I can read your questions, your comments about if you don't hear me or whatever is going on, and you can get an instant response. You can also give me a call on 816-599-6893. That's 816-599-6893, and you'll get a hold of us there. I can also put you on so people can hear your comments or questions. So if you want to talk with us, if you want to interact with what's going on now, just get in touch with us. Just holler at us. All right. So one thing that we do is we like to talk about the STEM pipeline, getting kids interested in STEM, which is science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, and staying with that through school, high school, into college, where they can then go into careers or start businesses in the same fields. There's a need for more engineers, more scientists, more technologists. So all of that is needed. So we try to help fill that pipeline so that we can get people into those fields and into those jobs, especially people out of our community. Minorities are underrepresented in the STEM fields. We're underrepresented in a lot of engineering and science, and we need to have more students that prepare themselves to take their places as some of those that solve problems. Engineers are problem solvers, so they can do that for corporate. They can do that personally. A lot of engineers have started businesses and do well in that. So there's a lot that can be done, but we need more African Americans that are doing it, that are getting involved in that. So one way we do it, we try to show you things that are in the STEM field, and we do that with What's Up at NASA. We show you a podcast every week of things going on in NASA. NASA is one of the leading STEM job places, and not just NASA, but in the whole space field now is just expanding exponentially with jobs, because now you don't just have NASA, but you've got SpaceX, and you got Virgin, and you've got one more. I think there's 3 or 4 private companies that are building rockets and entering the space race. So that means there's a lot more job openings. There's a lot more support needed for all of these things that are going on in Texas and Florida and California. So, you can get involved in this also. So that's what we want our young people to do, is to get involved into things that involve the technology. It can be a real rewarding job if you like those type of things. Now, it's not for everybody, but if you like that, that's something that you should be looking into. So right now we're going to go and show you what's going on this week at NASA. Let me see if I can pull NASA's news up for us. I think this is it right here. Let's see.
Commemorating an historic event for human spaceflight.
We choose to go to the moon.
An update on plans for Artemis 1 and what our Perseverance rover is up to on Mars. A few of the stories to tell you about this week at NASA. On September 12th, NASA and Rice University commemorated the 60th anniversary of John F. Kennedy's historic speech at Rice in 1962. In that speech, the president recommitted the nation to the goal he had proposed to Congress in May 1961 of landing astronauts on the moon before the end of the decade and returning them safely to Earth. As NASA Administrator Bill Nelson pointed out during the keynote address at the event, the president's speech helped advance our leadership in human spaceflight back then, and it continues to inspire us today as we work to send humans back to the moon and eventually to Mars as part of our Artemis program.
60 years ago, President Kennedy put wind in our sails on the new sea of space exploration, and that mission is never ending. It's a mission about science and the advancement of the human spirit to expand what is possible.
A cryogenic demonstration test for our uncrewed Artemis 1 flight test is now targeted for no earlier than Wednesday, September 21st. Meanwhile, the agency has requested a September 27th launch opportunity for the Space Launch System, or SLS rocket, and Orion spacecraft, with a potential backup opportunity of October 2nd under review. During the cryogenic demonstration, teams will load supercold liquid oxygen and liquid hydrogen into the core stage and interim cryogenic propulsion stage of the SLS to confirm that a hydrogen leak has been fixed. Artemis 1 is the first integrated flight test with the SLS and Orion. The mission will send Orion beyond the moon and return the spacecraft back to Earth. NASA's Perseverance rover is collecting samples and analyzing the composition of rocks at an ancient river delta located in the red planet's Jezero crater, an area long considered by scientists to be a top prospect for finding signs of possible ancient microscopic life. In its analysis of a sample from a rock named Wildcat Ridge, the rover's Sherlock instrument registered the most abundant organic detections on the mission to date. Further conclusions about what is contained in this sample will have to wait until its return to Earth for in-depth study as part of the Mars Sample Return Campaign, an international collaboration led by NASA and the European Space Agency. Dr. Thomas Zurbuchen, the Associate Administrator for our Science Mission Directorate, is planning to leave the agency at the end of 2022. His 6 years at NASA have included some of the agency's most inspirational moments, from sending the first spacecraft to touch the sun, to launching and sharing the first images from the James Webb Space Telescope, to landing the Perseverance rover on Mars along with the Ingenuity helicopter that went on to make the first powered controlled flight on another planet. The agency is conducting a nationwide search and open competition for a new associate administrator. The team at our Armstrong Flight Research Center recently completed a flight series called Carpet Diem, which tested state-of-the-art ground recording stations designed to hear and record the unique sounds that will be generated during future supersonic flights by NASA's X-59 aircraft. The X-59's goal is to reduce the intensity of sonic booms, which are heard when an aircraft flies faster than the speed of sound, to a quiet sonic thump. When the X-59 flies, NASA will record the sonic thumps as part of the effort to validate its quiet supersonic design. That's what's up this week at NASA. For more on these and other stories, follow us on the web at nasa.gov/TWAN.
Yeah, that's some real news coming from NASA. I don't know if you were checking it out, but that Mars mission, that the rover's already picked up some samples, but they're talking about bringing those samples back to Earth. That's something new They've sent robots up that have analyzed things, and they did their little tests on Mars and then sent the information back. But if you listen to what they said there, is that some of the samples that they're looking for microscopic or signs of past microscopic life, not that they're looking for anything live there now, but if there ever was something live up on Mars, they're going to bring one of the rocks or some of the rock, dust, whatever, back to Earth. That means they have to have a rocket land on Mars and come back. That's an ambitious goal, is that you can send. We've sent a lot of probes out into space and to asteroids and other places, but now they're talking about having something that will land and retrieve that sample and bring it back to Earth. That's amazing. So that's what we talk about with science, engineering, technology, all of that you need in STEM. That is going to take a lot of work. It's an international effort. And to return samples from the surface of Mars is a big move. It's a big step. That just really is outstanding what they are doing and what's capable of being done, as they're looking to start eventually going to Mars. I mean, that is the goal, is to reach Mars. And they're doing a lot of work. I saw last week that they've worked on a machine that is small as a lunchbox that can produce air or oxygen on Mars. So that's the thing. So they're looking at ways that they can produce oxygen so it wouldn't always have to be sent up there, because that's such a long way. It's going to take years of space flight to get there. So you're going to have a supply of oxygen that will last anybody that's up there forever. So if you can come up with equipment that can generate oxygen out of something that's already up there on Mars or the rocks or whatever, I don't know how they're doing it, but I did see an article on that they've come up with a machine that they're testing now that would produce oxygen on Mars. So I'll have to do some reading up on that and see exactly how they're going to do it. But that is all fantastic news, things that are moving forward in technology, and we want to stay up on that. And you should stay up on that. Before we go into the next part of the NASA that we have on here, which would be Space to Ground, I want to tell you about a program that we're starting. We do a lot of work with the young people, but little is it known that we have always did work with adults on technology. And we've got a program that's going to be starting in October, and I want you to tell your friends about it. Write this down, save this date, and have them to contact us. But we're going to be doing some basic computer classes. So if you know somebody at your church, some senior, and it's for seniors. So if there's some senior citizens, and I would say that's probably 55 or 60 and up, that aren't using computers or tablets and they'd like to learn, want to start getting into this information age, or be able to talk with their grandchildren, or to order their prescriptions online and pay their bills. If they're wanting to learn basic computers, how to turn it on, how to log in, how to create an email account, how to do those different things, there's going to be a class on basic computers that will be starting the 1st of October. It's going to be starting. We're going to have classes on Thursday and Saturday. Let me see my notes here. Let's see. Classes were going to be Thursday and Saturday from 10:30 to 12. So we'll have an hour and a half class, and on Saturday, 10:30 to 12, and on Thursdays from 1 to 3. Those classes will be held right here at the W.E.B. Du Bois Learning Center, 4510 East Linwood. The cost is absolutely free. So if you know some seniors, if you know some people that would really like to learn that, if in your church group, your church home, there's people that want to, over at the senior citizen center that you go to, if there's people that want to learn the computer, and you don't have to know nothing about computers. This is for people that are just wanting to get involved in computers. So if you want to get involved in that, or if you want to get in that class, it's going to be starting right here, and that's going to be October the 1st. So contact the Black Family Technology Awareness Association, and you can leave a message on this phone at the radio station, 816-599-6893. If you'd like to be involved in that class, call and leave your name, your contact information at 816-599-6893. Tell your uncle, your auntie, your grandma, your cousins, anybody that you know that they've been a little timid, a little bit scared to learn this, or don't want people to know that they don't know this, that we're going to have a class. It's going to be open for 10 to 12 people. So be the first to call in, sign up, say you want to take this basic computer class, learning the basics in computer operation, just how to turn your computer on, how to work with the mouse, understand some of the terminology that they talk about, how to click on something, all of those things that some of us take for granted, but there's some of us that don't know all of this. So this is going to be a class in basic computer skills, and it's going to be free, and it's going to start October the 1st at the W.E.B. Du Bois Learning Center. We'll be doing classes on Thursdays and on Saturdays. So if you want to get involved, please get in touch with us. Tell your friends to get in touch with us. Tell your pastor to mention it. We've got some flyers that we're going to be passing out that are getting made so that we can get our seniors involved, because nobody should be left behind in this digital revolution that is going on. Yes, a lot of the young people know, and they need to brush up their skills on different things, but they know how to do some of the basic stuff. But some of us were around before computers were around. And had lived our lives and had our careers and didn't have to use computers. So now you may be retired, you're sitting at home and saying, oh, I don't know all this stuff that they're talking about. I'd like to have a computer. Well, this is a time to get involved with it. And they say if anybody that takes the class and completes it, there's going to be refurbished computers that you can purchase for $50. Working, fully refurbished, tested out as of computers for anyone that completes the class of the 10. If you hang in there and your attendance is good and all of that, you get your little certificate, then you'll be able to purchase a computer for $50 from Networking for Good, or they used to be Network for Good. I think they've changed their name, but there'll be computers made available that you can purchase for $50, a refurbished desktop computer. I don't think it's a laptop, but you'll be able to get your first computer. Get online, you'll have to get some internet access, and for a lot of people, you can still get free internet access or reduced rate internet access so that you don't have to pay an arm and a leg for the internet access, because sometimes, they talk $50 or $60 for internet, and that turns people off too because they don't want to pay. But you may be able to get a reduced or free cost internet system, but you have to check to see if you qualify for that. But the computers are $50 for everybody that completes the course. It's going to run for 15 sessions, so if you go twice a week, all you have to show up is for 7 days or 8, and you'd have 16 sessions in, so or 7 weeks. Well, excuse me, because it's two sessions a week. So if you do 7 weeks, that would be 14. 8 weeks, 2 months, you're done. And you'll know about computers. You'll be ready. So Basic Computers is coming October the 1st. Be sure and tell somebody about it, because we want you to get involved and not be left out of this digital revolution that has been going on and is just speeding up. Yeah, they've getting ready to open up the metaverse for everybody. So it definitely keeps going. So you don't want to stay in the back of it, and you don't want to miss the boat. So it's time to get involved and get on. Tell your friends, tell somebody about that. We appreciate it. Now we're going to go into Space to Ground. This is another episode of podcasts that are put out by NASA, the National Aeronautics and Space Administration, part of the United States government. So these are your tax dollars at work. So stay tuned, and here we'll go to Space to Ground from NASA.
Commemorating an historic event for human spaceflight,
We choose to go to the moon.
an update on plans for Artemis 1, and what our Perseverance rover is up to.
Welcome to Space to Ground. I'm Kayla LaFrance. The crew aboard the space station spent the week working hard on science payloads after receiving a special call. Last Friday, the crew held a conference call with the Vice President of the United States, Kamala Harris. The Vice President, who was on hand at Johnson Space Center last week to chair the National Space Council meeting, dropped by Mission Control to speak with NASA astronauts Kjell Lindgren, Bob Hines, and Jessica Watkins.
Tell us what you are learning on the space station that is helping us be smarter around how we take care of Earth.
Yes, we are honored and privileged to be able to use the International Space Station as a test bed and as a laboratory to be able to learn lessons that we can apply to Earth. So things like learning how to grow plants without soil and being able to use that back on Earth to help with food security. Learning about how immune cells age while we're up here and thinking about how we can help with immune cell aging back on Earth. There's so many different aspects of what we do up here that can be applied to making Earth a better place.
European Space Agency astronaut Samantha Cristoforetti kicked off the foams and emulsions investigation aboard the orbiting laboratory this week. If you've used shampoos or salad dressings, you've encountered foams and emulsions. Aside from making up many household items, these droplets and bubbles suspended in liquids, foams, and emulsions are also important to processes that remove pollutants from the environment. Microgravity eliminates factors that complicate research into foams and emulsions on Earth. What we learned could contribute to more effective and efficient use of these bubbly and non-mixable liquids. And finally, we take you to the coldest known spot in the universe. The Cold Atom Laboratory is a facility on the International Space Station that allows researchers to dive into amazing atomic and quantum discoveries by producing clouds of atoms a fraction of a degree above absolute zero. This is only possible due to space's microgravity environment. Launched in May of 2018, the payload has already shown revolutionary breakthroughs for quantum research in its 4 years of operating on the Space Laboratory. You can learn more about this one-of-a-kind research on the latest edition of Houston We Have a Podcast. Dr. Jason Williams from NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory in Pasadena, California, and Dr. Nathan Lundblad, a professor of physics at Bates College in Lewiston, Maine, will take you on a journey to the subatomic. You can get the latest news about the Cold Atom Lab and other research and science happenings on the ISS by following @ISS_research on Twitter. That's Space to Ground for this week. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next week.
All right, that's good. That's Space to Ground. And talking about some more discoveries and things that are going on with NASA. I'm going to have to get that Houston We Have a Podcast so we can also listen to some of those fantastic discoveries that are going on. But that's what we're about. Science, technology, engineering, math, STEM. We want to make that a commonplace topic in our community, not just in other communities, but where we live. So our young people are getting involved in that. So you talk to your grandkids, you talk to your children, your nieces, your nephews, and say, hey, I saw this bit on KUAW where they were talking about doing these experiments in this super cold lab up on the space station, that they can do things with atoms, that they're going to be sending a rocket back from Mars, that all the different things that are going on, and make it where it's something that you do. You can also go to the NASA site. That's at www.nasa.gov, and you can find experiments and things that you can do with your kids or that your kids can do on their own. They have a site, NASA for Kids, that they can do experiments. They can do a lot of different things. Take them to that site. Let them see some things. You may have a young scientist on your hands that you want to encourage. And that's what we should be doing, is encouraging all of our young scientists, our engineers, our designers, our creators that are going to be making things for the future, are going to be creating the future that we are wanting to have. And part of that, I was looking at another article as they talk about creators. It says 1 in 4 people are now content creators. And that's an awesome number. 1 in 4 are content creators. So let's think about it. Creativity is something that a lot of us have, and a lot of us are now using the internet and social media for creators. The creator economy grew by more than 165 million people over the past 2 years. So think, if you can sell anything to a creator, it's a big group of people, 165 million. That's a customer base. So that's another thing, that if you have something that you can sell to creators, that is a thing that they can use. So over the past 2 years, to reach 303 million creators globally. So it then grew from 165 million, or grew by more than 165 million to 303 million creators globally. This was a research that was funded by Adobe, and Adobe makes the PDF and a lot of Photoshop and all of that. And it was in their latest Future of Creativity study. In fact, according to the report, almost a quarter of us, 23%, are designated creators, contributing photography, videography, creative writing, and more online spaces like social media platforms and blogs. There's a lot of us that are doing videos, that we're posting pictures. You're being creative. While over a quarter of creators, that's 26%, are motivated by money. They want to make some money with that latest TikTok video. It says the report found that nearly half, 48% of creators, are universally motivated by the same goal: freedom of expression. Just wanting to put something out, wanting other people to see what they've come out. The freedom of self-expression is the top motivator for creators. That's artists, that's people that want to show pictures, that are drawing, singers, poets, all of that, followed by wanting to do something fun and exploring an interest or a passion. So that's what has people doing this expression now. The study found that content creation can be a source of income, but it takes time and commitment to be successful. While it remains a side hustle for most, many creators aspire to do more, and some are making, good money on that. So this is a growth area that's going on. They funded a study, said the unprecedented growth of the creator economy provides a platform for everyone to be a creator. Individuals, solopreneurs, small business owners, and content creators can now express themselves and explore creative and artistic pursuits in new ways. And that's what Adobe is about. So they're funding something because it helps their business out. Adobe defines creators as professionals and non-professionals creating original content for their jobs or passions, including designers, photographers, filmmakers, illustrators, hobbyists, and more. So all of those are creators. You may be a creator. If you've been putting stuff out there on YouTube, on Facebook, on TikTok, on Twitter, on Twitch, on any of these millions of platforms that we have, then you are a creator. Now, an influencer is a little different. Influencers are defined here as a subset of creators. They're creators with 5,000 followers or more who leverage social media to impact their audience. So if you have over 5,000 followers, then you are an influencer. So I think that KUAW is pushing toward that, and if you guys haven't started following us, follow us soon. We've got over 4,000 followers on KUAW right now, so we need another 1,000. So those of you that are listening, tell your friends, share this, like, share, and follow KUAW Radio on Facebook, on YouTube, on Twitch, on Twitter. Follow us on every platform that we are on LinkedIn, so that we can get that aggregate number of 5,000 to 10,000 listeners and really have some influence in the world. Yeah, it says per this report, millennials represent 42% of the creator economy. So they got the largest share. By comparison, Gen Z represents 14%. Influencers make up only 14% of the global creator community. In the U.S. alone, the creator economy grew by 34 million new creators. That's 40% since 2020. Brazil grew by 73 million new creators. South Korea by 11 million. Spain by 10 million also emerged as hotspots for creativity. And nearly all 95% of creators charted in this study take action to advance or support causes that are important to them. So that's it. By using creativity and influence to advance social causes, creators believe that they can drive awareness, 51% of them do, give a voice to those who are otherwise wouldn't have one, and make it easier to voice opinion on social causes. And that's what we're about. So we're one of those creators that want to give voice to those that didn't have one. We let you come on here and be able to give voice to the world of what you want, the causes that you want. To that end, I want to let everybody know, if you produce a podcast and you want your podcast broadcast over KUAW, or if you want to do your podcast from our studio, you can. Call us and we'll let you know what the options are, what you can do. Call us at 816-599-6893, and we can set up a time where we can talk about you doing your podcast right from our studio. We got lights, we've got cameras, we've got the internet access and connection to most of the platforms, so we can put your podcast out there, or we can record it and give it to you. So get in touch with KUAW Radio or the Black Family Technology Awareness Association and say, hey, I'd like to do a podcast. I'd like to do a podcast on your station, and that I'd like to take advantage of the over 4,000 followers that you have right now to build even a bigger audience. So contact KUAW Radio. You don't have to do that every week, but you will have to schedule it in. And we can see about doing your podcast on KUAW Radio. So that's one thing that's going on out there, is that if you are a creator, and a lot of us are, we may not know that that's what we're called or that's what we are, but you're putting stuff on the internet. You're creating some things right now. That is a good thing. That is a good thing that we want to do. So I've went through a few of the things that we had. That's a little bit of the online news. Another online topic that I have, and this is for you guys that are in college or those that have connections with colleges, and it talks about that CHIPS and Science Act that was signed into law last month. That's something that will provide opportunities for higher education, but you've got to be prepared for it. So our colleges, our HBCUs and all of those, there's money that's been put out there. A lot of times when you say, well, the government's not doing anything or they're not helping in the city, well, they've funded for this science and technology and STEM things. There's authorized a total of $81 billion that can be used over 5 years, which would more than double the current appropriation of the National Science Foundation from approximately $9 billion in this fiscal year to $18 billion in the next fiscal year. So the National Science Foundation, NSF, they're the ones that finance a lot of study projects at colleges and universities, research that they're doing. So this article is saying that they want to cultivate a diverse STEM workforce, and they're looking for opportunities to expand to areas, to HBCUs and to community colleges, so that they can reach communities that haven't been participating in a lot of the research and the development that's going on. They're wanting to expand the geographical participation so that more people across the country are participating in National Science Foundation and other STEM-related activities. But the colleges have to be prepared. You have to be ready to pursue these grants. That's the thing as you go into all grants, not just colleges, but in other ways that we're looking into, is that we have to get ourselves, BFTAA, in position to pursue those grants. And we're setting up our back office and doing things now that we will be able to do that we'll be able to go after more grants, just like this grant to do the senior citizens and computers. That's not a big grant, but it helps you get started. We start seeing, and we want to do more and better grants so that we can do the research right here in our community to help define a better community and how people can learn and use technology to their advantage, to the advantage of their community, to their families, to their children, so that we benefit from all of this stuff that is happening around us, all of this digital revolution, technology advancement that is going on. We want to make sure that we have a seat at the table. I want to let you know, too, that our robotics teams have started back up. If you want to we're going to have an orientation this Saturday from 12 to 1 o'clock, or about 12:45, because I got to start a show at 1 o'clock. But from 12 to about 12:45, we're doing orientation for our Lego and VEX robotics. So you can bring your child to the W.E.B. Du Bois Learning Center. Tell them that you come for the Lego or the VEX robotics program, and we're going to do an orientation. They won't have to stay for class. We'll only take 30 minutes of your time or so and let you know what the program is about, how to get your child involved in it, how your child can benefit from being involved in our robotics programs, and we can move forward with that. We've got new people that are working with our Lego part, and we're excited to get that started and fired up and going. So we want you to bring your children from 9 years old to 12 years old, bring them for Lego. And for our 13-year-olds through 18-year-olds, bring them down for VEX. If your kid is a geeky type kid, if they like building things, or if they just like programming, because the robotics encompasses a lot of different steps. One is to build, but the other is to program and to operate, to make the robot operate autonomously without any human control. To learn how to do that, that takes programming. So we're doing both of those. We're teaching children how to build, how to do the mechanics of building and of designing and engineering something, but also how to do the designing of a program, of the code that it would take to perform a task. It's just like when they send that rover up to Mars. It's been programmed with directions on doing the tasks that they wanted to do. They're not touching it. They're not guiding it every step of the way. It has a program running that it knows what it needs to do. So that's something that they can learn with us. Also, we're working on a program, hopefully to start in January, where we're going to bring a drone class, for an elementary student drone class. So our students that are doing the Lego robotics, they will have the first shot at taking our drone cadet class that will start in January. So we'll start them off with Lego. They can run that through September, the end of September through December. And then in January, there's going to be a drone class, and the people that will get the first seats of the drone cadet class will be those that are involved in our Lego program. So get in touch with us. We want to get your child involved in technology and move it up, because we want to take this drone class from elementary. We'll start there, but we want it to follow them up all the way till they get ready to go to college, so they'll know and that they can get licensed and learn how to be entrepreneurs by flying drones and doing aerial photography for companies and businesses that are looking for that type of work. So not only will they learn how to fly drones, but they'll learn some entrepreneurship in some of the money that they can make by being a drone pilot. So get in touch with us right here at the Black Family Technology Awareness Association, because we want to get our young people to be on the cutting edge of all that is being developed and all that is going on. Give us a call, 816-599-6893. You can also reach us on Facebook and on YouTube. Go to the Black Family Technology Awareness Association, or KUAW Radio, which is a project of the Black Family Technology Awareness Association. You can also email us at BFTAA@sbcglobal.net. That's BFTAA@sbcglobal.net. You can contact us at KUAW985@gmail.com. So those are ways you can reach us. You can also hit us up on Twitter, on LinkedIn. We're all over the internet. We're on Instagram. We haven't got a TikTok page yet, but that's coming. We're trying to be wherever you are and wanting to know about technology and advancing it. So thank you for listening. Thank you for joining in today. Be sure and keep your eyes open, keep your ears up so that you can learn about the things that are going on in science, technology, engineering, and math, STEM, and that you will continue to listen and tell your friends about the Black Family Technology Awareness Association, what we are doing in the community, what we are doing with KUAW Radio, and we're wanting to be a part of that. Like and share this video. Share it with your friends. Become a follower, too. Follow us on Facebook, on YouTube. Follow us on Twitter, KUAW Radio, and the Black Family Technology Awareness Association. We would love to have as many followers as we possibly can so that we can even reach more and more people. So be sure and contact us. I thank you for taking this time with us today. I will see you next Monday at 5:45 for the BFTAA and More show. So enjoy the afternoon. See you next time. Goodbye.